Welcome to another episode of Coder Conversations. This is Kevin.
This is TC.
Yeah, for some reason my video ain't showing. Let me see what's going on. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see
Okay.
you.
On the screen, it seems like it's just black. Let me just restart my camera. Yeah, I don't know. Just completely, I'm completely like black on my side. But if it's working, then but yeah, man. What's been going on with you?
Uh, Chilling for the most part. Chilling for the most part. Start another run of Elden Ring. Jumps back into that. But taking it easy. Taking it easy. Um, nothing crazy. Let me think. What else? Work's been pretty chill. Work's been pretty chill. And yeah. Recovering from my injury from last time. I don't know if I mentioned I hurt myself. Working out. So yeah, I'm feeling good though. I'm feeling good.
Okay, yeah. Hey man, on LinkedIn, can you add a
Yeah.
comment? And I want to see if I can see your comment.
You want to add a comment? All right, here.
Cause you see mine, right?
Uh, I don't. I do.
Okay, you
LinkedIn
see
isn't
it?
showing comments, so if you want to comment, join our YouTube.
No, okay. So maybe we actually can see it. Can you post one? Let me see if I see if you're saying anything. Okay, yeah, I see you.
All right, cool.
So yeah, we can at least interact with people now.
Awesome. Yeah, nice.
Okay, but yeah, man. Yeah, I jumped into Mega Man 8 again.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of like halfway through four of the bosses, so I
Mm-hmm.
got four left.
Yeah. Yeah, I plan
It's,
on.
it's not too
Uh,
bad. It's not as difficult as I thought it was.
I plan on revisiting a lot of the old like a lot of the older games that I was playing as a kid. Like the Mega Man's, the Banjo Kazooie, like the platformer games, um, Donkey Kong 64. There's a bunch of games that I've played and I just never finished. And
Right.
like I kind of don't want to leave them just hanging. I kind of want to
Yeah.
go back and just like finish them off. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you played any good modern platformers? I think the best one I
Uh,
played. What is that? The one made by the makers of Banjo Kazooie,
Ukulele.
ukulele. Yeah, they
Yeah.
got a couple. Both of them are good. The side scroller and the 3D one.
Yeah. I was just thinking of that. That's probably the best one. The best platformer I played recently is ukulele. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't think of any others.
Nah, I can't think of too many, man. Have you played that record of Lodos Wars, kind of like Castlevania Symphony of the Night? That one's actually good.
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I think you'll like that one.
yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'll have to check it out. I'm um I'm trying to I'm trying not to add too many new games. Like I told you, I kind of want to jump into the other Dark Souls games, but
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I feel like I have so many other games that I want to play. I don't want to keep adding on games. I'll never finish them. I'll never
Okay.
finish them.
Yeah. You know, once you get started with a Dark Souls game, that's like 100 hours down the drain.
It's 100 hours. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
to the audience, yeah, we can finally see your comments on LinkedIn. So if y'all want to interact with us, just drop a comment on the LinkedIn live chat.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, man. Speaking of games, like what do you heard about Square Enix selling off uh their IPs
Yeah, they
to
call
I think
Embracer Group. They sold a lot of
yeah.
their Western subsidiaries.
Uh-huh.
Well, what I've heard is it's like a rumor, but it seems like they're slimming down for a potential Sony purchase. That's the rumor, but it's official that they're selling off those Western IPs.
Yeah, but like at $300 million, right? Like, is that really slimming down? Like how? Unless the acquisition is going to be like super big, right? And like, is 300 million really that much?
I mean, that's cheap for those all of those companies, but
Right.
I guess they feel like those companies weren't pulling their weight. They were always kind of blaming them for underperforming, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what is it? One of the companies that was a part of it was Crystal Dynamics, right? And
Yeah,
with the Avengers game, with them putting in like a lot of money into that Avengers game, it makes sense that they wanted to. It makes sense that they want to like to sell it off because it didn't perform as well as it should have, and I feel like that like that's just a sign that when you put your work towards something in the direction towards just making money, like when your focus is just to make money, the game is gonna flop. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Was that one of those games as a service type of things,
Yeah,
or oh yeah, no
yeah.
wonder.
So the Avengers game was like a games as a service type of deal, and the the content that was offered, it was like they gave you all these customizations and stuff to be able to customize your character and all that
Yeah,
stuff, but the gameplay loop I heard was like extremely boring and bland. Like it was
okay,
always the same, like it was always the same type of monsters over and over again. It wasn't anything different. It was just like, okay, go here, kill these small bad guys, kill the big robot, take over the
mm,
area, rinse, repeat.
right. I think a lot of Western companies that Square Enix bought, they didn't really fit with what we know Square Enix for, which is RPGs. Because Square, traditionally they're an RPG company. Even
Right.
though like way back in the NES, they released their first game. I think it was Rad Race or a racing game, but they're
Hmm.
known for like Final Fantasies and all of that. They're not
Yeah.
really known for the other type of games. So
But what's his face was good. Tomb Raider was good. I enjoyed that.
yeah. Yeah, I think it was
Like,
good, but it doesn't really fit in with what they're focusing on. You know what I mean? Maybe
yeah,
they'll do better if they're more streamlined.
yeah. I just feel like I feel like games in general these days they need to focus in on what matters the most. Like look at Elden Ring
Mm,
for example. There's
yeah,
no microtransactions. There's no like gimmicky there's no gimmicks that make you have to pay money in order to advance in the story.
mm,
It's just a well packaged product. Yeah, like
yeah,
I spent $60 and I dumped like I'm dumping hours, hundreds of hours into the game willingly, right? Just because
yeah,
I'm saying, all right, I'm enjoying this, whatever. Uh, but these days it's like you have, you have a a partial game that's on release. Like, oh, it's gonna be great. It's painted as this great game, and then it comes out and it's just half a product. It's not
yeah.
ready.
That's the big thing about Elden Ring to me is like you can tell it's made by somebody that loves gaming. He's a gamer first. It seems
Yeah,
like, and he gave us a complete product, not
yeah,
like I feel like if we get a DLC, it's going to be like 20, 30 hours at
it's gonna be
minimum of
huge.
solid
Yeah,
content.
it's
Not
gonna be
like, oh,
huge.
here's $10 for two skins or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like take for example, what was it another recent game, Borderlands, right? The new Borderlands game that dropped, Tiny Tina's Wonderland or whatever.
Mm.
They just came out with DLC, and that DLC is like a couple of hours long. When I say a
Oh, wow.
couple of hours, I think it's like 2 or 3 hours long. Like let me double confirm this, but like Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
How much are they selling it for?
Um, so the DLC is, let me see.
I don't know. I feel like when they release companies release DLC that's like a couple hours long, they're just trying to cash in. Like, hey, we need a little extra money.
Right,
Y'all hurry up and crank something out in a couple of months. You know.
it's $15.
Oh yeah, that's kind of a rip off.
So let's say it's about 11 hours.
Oh, okay, for 11 hours, that's fair then. If it was
Oh wait,
2 hours,
no, no wait,
that's
that's the wrong one. This one is so it's $10 if you bought the season pass, or 29.99. So the DLC is $10, or or the season pass is $30,
hmm.
and the DLC is only 2 hours long.
Oh yeah, it's kind of a rip off. 2 hours for $10. But what can you say? Certain companies, they're all about that money. But
Uh,
yeah, speaking of money, man, sometimes I see like, on LinkedIn or, different avenues, people be posting like these obscene salaries. Like, I wonder if they're real. Like, hey, I'm making 400K, or you know what I mean? 300K. I'm like, man,
right.
where are those jobs at?
Where
Like from what you've seen, what is like a reasonable beginner salary? You're in LA, so like somebody just getting into the industry, what's something reasonable for them to expect?
I've seen as low as like, I want to say 60,000, 70,000, depending. Uh,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
I've seen it pretty low. That was a couple of years ago. I haven't really looked like recently, but I feel like um, I feel like those salaries like that have like 120, like 200K, like 250K, like at a senior level, or a FANG level, like that's not take home. Like you have to consider like taxes, right? Your medical expenses, I mean your insurance, medical insurance, your dental insurance, all that stuff. You have to consider like the tax on top of that, and then as well as the like total compensation might be something completely different. They might slap on like stocks or whatever on top
Yeah.
of that
So
to make that number go up.
have you ever seen like 120K base salary for like a junior?
No,
Yeah, I haven't
no,
seen it.
I
Maybe at
haven't.
a FANG company, like if you're like a DS and Algos master, maybe
Maybe.
somewhere. But you know, like the people like the boot camp be hyping up. Oh yeah, you make six figures right out of
Yeah,
boot.
yeah, no.
Like, I've never seen it. Like from what I've seen, it's anywhere between like I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth area. It could be as low as 45K up to like maybe like 70K as a like a newbie, like a junior.
Yeah, like I would say like don't focus on the money as a junior. Like
Yeah,
your focus should be like getting experience and
yeah,
like getting your feet wet and like breaking some stuff. Like not like breaking like the actual site, but like getting your hands dirty, or like on a local machine, like in a local environment. And
hmm.
yeah, just getting exposure, and like start learning under the right people, because
So,
yeah,
yeah, but
like that'll take you
what have
further.
you seen from mid level developers? From mid, I've seen like like up to like maybe like 95, 100K.
So for mid, I've seen like starting, I've seen anywhere between, I want to say like 80 to 90,
Yeah,
and then it goes up, like it caps out around like 110 to 120.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Senior, I've seen like from about 120 to 130 as typical range for senior. Uh, might you might be able to, depend on the company. You could probably get up to 175 if you're at like one of those top tier type of company.
Yeah.
Tech leads are around 175 to 200 or more.
Yeah.
Is that what you're seeing in your area?
Um, I haven't looked at a senior level
No.
position. I, I,
Right.
I'd rather not even glance, just because what they're asking me, I know like I'll fit maybe a third of the criteria, and the rest I'll just bomb
Mhm.
on. Um, just because I don't have the experience yet. But I do think that like it really does depend on where you live. right? Like if you're in the
Mm,
Bay Area, salaries are gonna be it's gonna look a lot larger, but then you have to consider like the cost of living, right? The cost of
yeah,
living is a lot higher. LA is different from Texas, right? So like
yeah.
my cost of
That's,
living is gonna be different from your cost of living.
that's what's crazy though. Like LA is a lot more expensive than Dallas, but it seems like the salaries are comparable. So
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and you got state income tax or whatever. So it's kind of
yeah.
like, how are y'all making it?
Yeah, that's when you have roommates. You got
Okay.
roommates and you live within your means, man. Live within your means.
Did you ever think though, like when you were young, that okay, I'm making like 85, 95K, I still need a roommate?
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't think about that. I didn't think that at all. I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna have a job, I have my own place, I have a car. When you're young, you think of like everything with rainbows and sunshine,
mm,
and everything's gonna be
yeah,
great. And you get older, and you're like, wow, okay, that none of that's real.
yeah. I mean, it feel like six figures is almost just like a middle class salary. It feels like six figures is what like 60, 75K used to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, okay, it's pretty good, but it's not like, oh man, you're free. You're balling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause like if you want to get a house, man, you know,
I'm gonna have to play my cards right. Yeah.
the rent is crazy.
What'd you say?
Your rent is pretty crazy, ain't it? 3K for like a two bedroom.
Yeah, it's 3K for a two bedroom. Like
Man, that's
yeah, 3.4.
like
Yeah.
a 3.4. Man, are you in
Yeah.
a like a luxurious area or?
I mean, it's okay.
Okay.
It's not like a super fancy, swanky place or whatever, but it's a two bedroom and a loft. Like I turned the loft into an office, and then uh, I have my own room, and my sister has her own room,
Hmm.
and we just sort of share the amenities like amongst ourselves. Um, it's an all right place. Don't
Hmm.
get me wrong. When I first moved in here, I was like, wow, this is great. But now, after
Yeah.
you
You
wake up
just get
here
used to it.
after a couple of months, you're like, okay, it
Yeah.
is what it is. Especially after the first year, it's like, all right, that's it.
Man, that's how it always is, man. At first, it's like, oh, this guy got a pool table downstairs. They got a
Yeah,
pool. That's cool,
yeah,
but you never use it. It's
yeah,
like it just becomes an everyday thing. I think that's how you really get ahead. Is like you don't get distracted by the little amenities and kind of avoid, spending crazy money. Like when I
yeah,
got the Camaro, it was awesome the first few months, but then you just grow accustomed to it. So it's like,
yeah, yeah.
so
It's all about that delayed gratification.
yeah,
Like you have to be able to like say like, you know what, like this will make me happy now, but I know it's gonna be so much sweeter like wait
yeah,
like a year from now or like 3 months from now or whatever. And like you get into that habit of like sort of postponing the I want this now, I want this now, I want this now.
right.
Um,
You know what's interesting is I've heard like a housing market crash is coming like from a few different sources. And another interesting piece of news I heard, like Dallas, they're looking into like uh, I don't know if it's banning, but stopping institutional investors from buying up all the houses. So
mm,
that could really help the housing market. I think that would be a
that would
great
be
move.
really nice. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of people a lot of people want to buy homes, but then
Yeah,
like the prices are just astronomical. It doesn't make any sense.
right. Yeah, how can people afford a home at these are like 500K and up? You have to be
Yeah,
making like probably multiples of six figures to feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah. Or have a roommate.
Right. Would you feel comfortable buying a house with like a homie or something or your sister?
um, if it was a family, I would. I feel like
Okay.
I feel like at least from the way that I've grown up, uh, family like keeping a home within family is ideal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that could be cool. Like So say you got married or something, or your sister got married. Like, how would that
Yeah, I
work?
don't know. That would be pretty weird. I feel like once things become get to that point where it's like okay, marriage or whatever, it makes things a little weird. Uh, Not weird, but it just becomes different. Like if I have
Right,
kids, and then there's when we're sharing a home or whatever, like then they didn't now it comes to the point where like okay, who moves out or
right.
yeah,
Maybe y'all just sell the house and split the profits and try to
yeah,
get
I don't
your
know,
own.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
it's pretty tough.
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, man, these I don't know who's affording these houses. I don't know who can buy $1 million home. I've seen houses out here for like 750,000, $800,000.
Yeah.
Like, dude, who
How?
who's buying these homes?
So whatever I seen an article is like institutional investors, because like me or you, we wouldn't just like pay 50K above the assessed value of the house. So
Yeah,
it's pretty much them, and they're paying it off in cash. So we can't you can't really compete with that. Like, how can you compete with
unless you just have
somebody that has billions of dollars of assets under management? They just, you know what I mean?
yeah, unless you just have the money like that. It's like those people that buy Pokemon cards that are worth
Yeah.
like thousands of dollars. Like you just have thousands of dollars to just blow on a rare Charizard.
I don't
Okay,
think that's like a money laundering thing. Like, come on, like is Pokemon? I know it's pretty popular, but is it that popular to where people are still paying like thousands for
yeah,
cards?
people are collectors, man. I mean, like uh you look at anything, anything from like a long time ago, like that's in mint condition, like RPG games and stuff, like or anything really, toys, video games,
Yeah.
dolls, like still like in pristine condition, like they go for mad money.
Oh, you know what? Like I haven't seen any kids that I know with like playing like trading Pokemon cards. When I was growing up, yeah, we had like our binders with the baseball cards and X-Men cards in it. But I haven't seen any kids with any. I haven't seen any kids with Pokemon cards. Have you?
Uh, I knew somebody who had a kid who played Yu-Gi-Oh, and
Okay,
that was it. I think he was like 8 or 9 years old.
right. So
Yeah,
like who's buying these cards? It seems like it's in the adults or something.
yeah,
Logan
yeah,
Paul or whatever. I don't
exactly.
know. It just seems like money laundering to me, but that's just me.
I wouldn't call it money laundering, but I do see like it's not common. I would say that it's not common. Like a lot of people, it's not. It gets to a point where it's not for kids anymore, and it's like it's just adults buying all these cards and stuff.
So it's adults selling to each other like, oh,
I
here I
think
got a
so.
$1,000
I don't
Pikachu.
think
Do you
there's
want
no 8 or 9
five?
year olds that are buying those
Yeah, they
cards for
can't buy
thousands of
that.
dollars
They don't got no $1,000. So
unless they just have
who's
it saved
buying
up,
these cards
right?
for a thought? Like, who can I sell if I have a $1,000 Pikachu? Like, who's gonna buy that?
Exactly,
So yeah, I don't
exactly.
know. It's not adding up to me, but whatever.
The math ain't mathing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
man. You got any other interesting topics, man? Any interesting news?
Um. hmm, I started reading this book by David Goggins called. I don't have it
Oh,
up
that's
here.
the
Yeah,
Navy SEAL guy.
yeah, the Navy SEAL guy who's like
Yeah,
really, I guess for lack of better words, he's very like tough and
yeah.
like serious. Started reading his book called it's called Can't Hurt Me, and
Okay.
it's got a really good like message. Like most so far, it starts off with like he's just basically like talking about his childhood and stuff, like him growing
Mhm.
up. But like at the end of each chapter, he talks about how he gives you basically a prompt, and like the prompt
Mhm.
is supposed to like challenge you. to go do something. And I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know if you've read like self help books or in the past before,
I used to
but
read a
like
ton of them.
a lot of them sort of like have the same message of like like
Yeah.
focus on what you want and like have a positive mindset and stuff. But he's very like the antithesis to like a lot of that. He's like
Okay.
thinking positive didn't really help me out, and it was just like I had to be tough and I had to I went through this and I went through that. It's interesting. If you haven't read it or like give it a listen on Audible or something, if you have Audible, but like it's pretty good so far. I'm like one chapter in, but it's a
Well,
good read.
that's kind of cool that he doesn't have the typical self help message. I used to read all of them, and I found out like, okay, you get motivated, you hyped up,
Yeah.
you work extra hard for like 3 or 4 days, you get burnt out, you go back to that old pattern.
Yeah. It's a
Like
pattern.
yeah.
It's a pattern.
I think it's just training yourself to be consistent. Like, what can you do consistently every day?
Right.
Can you study consistently every day? Don't overdo it because you're gonna burn out. Like,
Yeah.
it's not.
Could you do enough? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not realistic to say I'm gonna study 8 hours every day. Like, you might be able to do that for a month, and then you're just gonna fall off a cliff. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, man. So like, do you have any like goals in mind? Like, okay, for the next year, I want to get this done.
Um it's mostly like health related and like physical goals that I'm trying to achieve personally.
Yeah.
Um like within the year, I just want to make like significant progress, like regardless of what it is. But I'm definitely taking it like one step at a time. Um, just like speech is a really important thing for me. I feel
Hmm.
like as a developer and as a person, like we need to be able to like as people, it's a good habit to have uh or a good skill to learn. I guess you could say not really a habit, but a skill to
Yeah.
learn is like speech, being able to like convey your ideas and like talk out loud without stuttering and stammering is a pretty helpful
Yeah.
uh, skill set to have.
Yeah, I think like leadership is really important too, especially if you want to progress higher up the ladder. Like, you can't just be that technician, or else they're just
Right.
gonna keep you in the basement somewhere, have you coding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Because there's like something I've noticed is like whenever I run into an issue or something, and I'll ask from somebody for something,
mm,
it's less of oh yeah sure I'll stop everything that I'm doing right now and help you out, and it's more
yeah,
of what have you tried? Not right
yeah,
now, maybe later. And it's like
yeah,
dang, like okay, I have to. I can't just sit here and do nothing. I have to like actually perform. I have to do something. So,
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it's a balance, man. Like, from a leadership perspective, you don't want somebody that's always, "Hey, man, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do?"
yeah,
Because you got a lot of work to do, and you
right,
can't do their work for them. You don't want to, handhold them, but you also do have to take your time and help them out if they're stuck. But like you say,
yeah,
you want to see that they tried several things first.
right, yeah, yeah. You want to see that they tried. Yeah, man. That's the key right there. Is like, what have you tried? Like, are you learning? And also to be able to pass on knowledge, like put people on game because
Yeah,
like that'll take you further. Like ever since I started taking notes, like whenever I solve a problem or I do something in React or in Chess or whatever, I'm like, okay, I was in this. I take notes on everything,
mm,
and you know, it might look funny. Like even when I'm having conversations, all right, take notes on it. Take notes
yeah,
on this. Take notes on that, and that's helped me to remember things or just it's always there if I ever forget it. I know I
right.
can rely on my notes to have my back.
Yeah, yeah. You always want to learn from whatever you're doing. You got to get better. Find some way to get better. Like,
Yeah,
if you're the exact same person, next year that you are today, you're not
you're
really pushing yourself.
yeah you're stuck in this. You're stuck in the mud. Yep, exactly.
The one more point. The one interesting thing about growing is you have to grow in the right direction too. So
Yeah,
meaning, okay, say for example, you're working out. but you only work out your upper body and your legs are tiny. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And you look like you only focus in one area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why like for me during the week I focus like mostly on like it's mostly physical, like training, like in the gym and stuff. Like yeah, I'm still like learning like data structures and algorithms and like all that stuff with coding.
Yeah.
But that comes along with like the job and stuff. Um, but like on the weekends, it's less coding and less working out and more just like reading or being outside. Like it's less technical and more
Yeah.
like just living life.
Yeah, I mean, finding that balance is important, man, because this is like a sedentary lifestyle. It's easy to just lay down on the couch or in your computer chair all day.
Yeah,
You know, and realistically, man, you can start getting health problems like developing blood clots and all of that
yeah,
stuff. So,
yeah,
literally to live, you need to get up and move around.
yeah, man. They're
But
all
yeah,
important.
I think it's kind of a good note to end on. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll catch y'all next time.
All right,
Peace.
peace.